Once upon a time, there was a beggar who used to sit at the city's railway station. He would beg from the passengers sitting in the trains that would arrive and depart, and he would fill his stomach this way. One day, while he was begging, a tall man in a suit and tie appeared. The beggar thought to himself, "This man seems very rich. If I ask him for money, he will surely give me more than I need." So, the beggar began begging from the tall man. The tall man looked at the beggar and said, "You keep begging all the time. Have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar replied, "Sir, I am a beggar. I keep begging from people. I do not have the means to give anything to anyone." The tall man said, "If you do not have something to give to others, then you have no right to beg. I am a businessman, and I believe in transactions. If you have something to give me, I will not take anything in return." After saying this, the tall man sat in the train and left. The beggar, thinking about what the tall man said, was affected. He started thinking that perhaps he doesn't receive much in alms because he has nothing to offer in return. But he was a beggar, so what could he give? How long could he keep begging from others without offering anything in return? After thinking a lot, the beggar decided that whatever person would give him alms, he would give something in return. But he was still wondering, what could a beggar give in exchange for alms? He spent 2 days thinking but could not find an answer. On the 3rd day, while sitting at the station, his eyes fell on the flowers growing on the plants nearby. He thought to himself, why not give flowers in return for alms? He liked this idea and picked some flowers from the plants. Then, he started going around the trains, and whenever someone would give him alms, he would give them a flower in return. People started keeping these flowers with them. Day by day, the beggar would pluck flowers and distribute them in exchange for alms. In just a few days, he noticed that more and more people were giving him alms. He would pick flowers from the plants around the station and give them to the people. As long as he had flowers, he would receive alms. But when the flowers ran out, he would get nothing. This continued every day. One day, while he was begging, he saw the same tall man sitting in the train. This man had inspired him to give something in return for alms. The beggar approached him and said, "I have some flowers for you today. Please take them, and in return, I will accept whatever you wish to give me." The tall man, seeing this, gave the beggar some money, and the beggar gave him the flowers. The tall man was very pleased. "Wow, what a thing. Today, you'd have become a businessman like me," he said. After receiving the flowers, he got off the train at his station. However, what the tall man said stayed in the beggar's heart once again. He kept thinking about what the man had said, and he became very happy. His eyes began to shine, and he felt as though he had found the key to change his life. He got off the train and loudly declared, "I am not a beggar. I am a businessman. I too can become rich." People around him thought he was probably mad, but the next day, the beggar was no longer seen at the station. 6 months later, the tall man was in another city, and happened to meet the beggar again. "I don't remember when we met the first 2 times, the tall man said, smiling. The beggar replied, "We met twice on the train. I was the beggar, and you told me what I should do in life. On the second meeting, you told me who I really am." The tall man smiled and said, "I remember now. You were the beggar I refused to give alms to the first time. The second time, I bought flowers from you. But today, you are wearing a suit. Where are you going now, and what are you doing these days?" The beggar replied, "Yes, I was that beggar. But today, I am a large flower businessman. I am traveling to another city for business." After a brief pause, he continued, "You told me something important the first time we met, that we only receive when we give something in return. I never thought beyond being a beggar, but after meeting you the second time, I realized I could be a businessman. Now I understand why people have been giving me things. They weren't giving me charity, they were buying flowers from me." The beggar continued, "I became a flower seller with the money I earned from distributing flowers in exchange for alms. People here love flowers, and their love for flowers turned me into a big flower businessman." Both businessmen were happy, and they parted ways, heading toward their own paths. Friends, we learn a lot from this story. The tall businessman understood the laws of give and take very well, and all the world's great businessmen have used these life principles to succeed. The beggar adopted this simple natural principle, and its impact on his life was clearly visible. He changed his thinking, and his life changed. This story teaches us that if we change our thinking, we can achieve anything. If we always think of ourselves as small, we will always remain small. To become great, we need to change our thinking and start thinking big about ourselves. The essence of the story is that everything is hidden in our thoughts. So, let's make our thoughts big and see how we can achieve great success in life.